Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. We will talk about Nginx. So before we go to Nginx, we first need to understand what is Nginx or Apache they do for us. So consider that it is your KGF that we are talking about. Then all that you see behind the behind everybody, that is your mine, your gold, your infrastructure. This is all safeguarded by your middleman, right? All the people who are actually doing the work. They look dirty, they look weak, all that stuff. But then you see Raki Bhai, he looks very clean, he looks very powerful, and he gets all the requests from outside. He will not expose anybody from inside. And that is what Nginx is all about. So in case if Raki Bhai is for KGF, is like Nginx for your application servers. So whatever that you see, small chota people, here they are all your app servers. App servers can come from your actual languages like Go, Node.js, or SpringBoot, or whatever it is. We will get into the detail of the story. So before we see the detail, we need to have a proper base, right? So consider we have a software, we release a software, and in that software, you have this functionality where you say API/hello, and it is going to say, I need to say hello. It's just going to respond to what you say. So I just started the server. I go to my browser, not browser, you can go to any command line. So you from your client is requesting, see, I want you to say hello. So you just say hello. Okay. Now you want to hide this software because it has a lot of sensitive information. In that case, all that we do is we put a server in front of this server. For now, consider that we are going to say we are going to put a proxy, and then we are going to say, okay, see, anything that comes as /API, and then please pass this to my actual server. So what is my actual server? My actual server is this server where it is running in my local host 8080. Okay, so now you talk to the proxy directly, you will still get it. In our story, we are able to access both the actual server as well as this one. But consider, in reality, in your production case, we will hide the server. This will be behind the firewall, which we will not expose it to outside. We will just expose this front-facing server to outside, and only this front-facing server, Nginx, will have access to all these servers. That's how you secure your infrastructure. That is the basic thing. But now the problem is you keep asking, it keeps responding. So it keeps responding. So here you see, it just says hello, everything is fine. But now you consider that this is single point of failure, right? In a case, there might be something that is behind the screen, something waiting to do some task, but you are actually not utilizing them. Let us see what is behind the screen now. See, there are two people who are waiting behind the screen. They are saying the same app is started in a different machine. Consider that it's a different machine. So I started with port 8081. So in 8081 also it is running. So I have two servers, which is also doing the same job for me. Colon 8081, that is one machine. See, it is saying hello. Okay, and you go to 8082, that is also saying hello, which means there are services, but it is not exposed, or the load is not shared between them. So you want to share the load, right? So in that case, what you say is, okay, please don't use just this person. Also share the workload between the servers. So here you say, I have server 1. You share the workload. And you say server 2. 8082. Okay, now let us expect that this load will be shared among them. Just saying hello. For some reason it is not sharing. Maybe I need to. Okay, I'm directly accessing, right? So I need to access through my proxy because that's the one who will share the workload. Not if I'm accessing them directly, it will not share any workload. Okay. Now I'm hoping that it will share my workload, but this guy is not sharing. He is still serving my request from my actual server. I think he's serving from here. Okay, the problem is I informed him, but I need to tell Nginx that I changed your configuration. Please reload yourself. So how do you do that? Is I'm running it from Docker for now, but in real case, you'll have your own Nginx thing. So you are sending a signal to this guy saying that Nginx, please reload. Once you give the signal, Nginx is responding saying that signal is started. So which means you accepted my signals, it seems. So let us see now. Okay. Now I go and see hello, 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 and see somehow these people are being utilized. Okay. Good. Load balancing is done. Okay. Any doubts so far in load balancing?
No.
Okay, very good. Now load balancing is fine, but sometimes, right, you need to release a new major versions of softwares, right? So in case if you are releasing a new major versions of a software, how do you do that? That CD, that blue-green deployment, all that stuff, right? We had a detailed discussions on how do you do CD with Spring Boot application sometime before. That video is there, but I'm not going into that detail, but we'll go on a high level. Okay. Now you have two people, you are sharing your two main people who are sharing your work, but you consider that this guy is not your main person. He is just your backup. What is the role of a backup? Backup is being called only when you do not have any of your actual main heroes doing the performance, then you will go to the backup access. So that is what I'm going to do. Now I send a signal again. So this guy said, okay, I accept it. Okay, let us see. Now you just cleared all. You go to the client and the client keeps requesting and the load being shared between them. Okay, but here no load is coming. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to switch off these people. They were really doing good job, but now they want to take a break. So they went and they're taking a break. So both of my servers are clean. They are not running. Now client is requesting, see, I still need your service. It's still responding. Hello, how is it responding? It is asking your backup server. Okay, now tell me, how is this related to your CDs, continuous deployments? How do you use this as a continuous deployment? Where I'm going to release a new version of my software. So what is my new version of my software? I'm going to say the new version of software is, it's not just hello 2.0. I'm releasing a new 2.0 version. Okay. Now all that I'm doing is I am, let us see, say for example, one of this person is running, or let both run. Okay, they are running. Now I say, so my server is responding to hello, and another worker, still he is not coming, so he is not sharing the workload. But now, okay, now he's also coming into the game. Okay, fine. Now the workload is being shared. Okay, but I'm going to release a major version. The major version is created here, but it is still not available. Okay, so what will we do is we will just stop it. Behind the screen, I'm deploying the software now in the backup server. So I'm started. So my major version is now running. Let us see. So once this started, we are going to ask the client, please access, but it is still saying hello, not hello 2.0. Why? It is supposed to say hello 2.0, right? We changed it because the workload is being still shared with these two guys. I'm saying stop this guy, stop this guy. So all my servers are down. Okay. Now again, the client is requesting. You see, you are getting hello 2.0. Where is it coming from? It is coming from your backup. Now it's coming from your backup. Okay. But now we need to do the continuous deployment, right? So how do we do the continuous deployment? Now the service is actually coming from your backup server. Meanwhile, let us deploy the software to this guy. Okay. How do we deploy? You need to make a build, right? So I say clean package. So now it's building my package. So consider that this is happening in your Jenkins server where you are building that jar file, the latest version. So now the jar file is built. Now you are saying, okay, go live with whatever that new version that I have deployed. So I'm both of them are using from same directory. So for now, I'm just directly running these two servers. Okay, now the servers are running. You request, it says hello. Say hello is coming from this guy, and hello 2.0 is coming. Its workload is being shared, and even you switch off this backup server. I switched off this backup server. Doesn't matter to you. Your service is still running. So this is how continuous deployment is happening through Nginx. So these are two responsibilities. One is load balancing, and then we saw okay, how do you deploy continuous deployment using Nginx. So this is the second responsibility. If any doubts, let me know. If not, we'll go to the this much, pretty much most of the application they uses features like this. And apart from that, is there any other responsibilities that I can do with this proxy servers? Anything else? I mean, what is that we can do? Caching? Okay, so we will see that. See, these are all the front-facing server, right? Consider that your app servers are quite heavy. You want to safeguard your actual environment, right? Because your app server has a lot of sensitive information, so you don't want to expose them outside. You always put this servers which is lightweight, will not have anything apart from having a access to your actual APIs. In a production case, how you make this system work is you will have your Nginx, and from Nginx you can access only the group of API servers. You need to make one group API servers, and then from Nginx you also need to connect to your database servers. Is that correct? From Nginx you will connect to your database servers. Will that be a good practice? Any guess?
The application would do it.
Yes. Why? Your database is the property of your applications. It's an infrastructure, right? Ideally, you need to separate your actual infrastructure from your front-facing server. So Nginx will not be aware of any of your infrastructure, should not be Nginx or Apache, whatever that you put. All that they know is, okay, this is the place where the service is running. This is the place where the backup is running. And apart from that, they can do a little bit of a caching. For example, consider you are deploying a static assets. In that case, you will create a cache. So you see here, you create cache for all your images, because images are something that you don't need to request again and again, right? In an ideal world, these application servers will have all the safety, security checks, firewall checks, and all those stuff. It's quite costly. Every time it hits the Nginx server, it hits your server. It's a journey that it needs to take, right? In that case, you can actually do caching so that it comes to Nginx and it serves right from the Nginx level. But this is itself is a broader topic, because you should know how to invalidate cache accordingly. Caching is one of the very difficult problem, overlooked problem, but that is a detailed discussion, but that will go later. But caching is, you need to do as much as caching possible for your edge servers. In this case, it's Nginx, and particularly for static assets, you need to do that caching. Now, I mean, in a production case, you need to create one group for Nginx kind of servers, and one group for API server, one group for database server, where database server should be isolated in a manner that they can receive calls only from your API servers group. Similarly, API servers should be secured in such a way that they can invite calls only from Nginx server, not from outside. And Nginx can be exposed from outside. That is how we will usually see. Pretty much this is what Nginx will be used mainly, but we will see one interesting case that can help. Like we keep saying, we develop softwares. Okay. We develop, say for example, in our case, we all are Java developers, we develop softwares. Okay, we deploy the software as it is, okay, we run the software. But actually, when you deploy it, it's not your software that runs. There's a lot of things in between your software and your actual users. Who are they? It's your environment, whether it is JVM, whether it is your actual operating systems, or it is like these API servers. If you really want to make serious softwares, you need to get maximum out of these external players also, because the beauty with these external players is they completely come for free, right? Because anything that you developed a software, that chapter is closed, you cannot modify that software because it needs all your teammates and all those stuff, right? But now my software is already developed, but if I can improve with all the environment, like I can do some operating system related tuning, like process priority and all those stuff, and then I can do JVM optimization, like we had a very big series of talks, right? Garbage collections, fine-tuning your JVM properties, and then you can get maximum out of and Java module system, you can get better. Similarly, in this case, we need to get maximum out of these servers. One of that use case is what we are going to see. Let us consider a very typical use case. A typical use case is you are working on mobile application. You are working on mobile application. Okay, now you are sharing this image to outside, and now I am also going to share this image from the mobile platform also. In that case, what can go wrong is my image is, so images are quite costly in terms of file size, right? So this So now you see it's 1280 bar 720 high resolution image. But does it make sense to serve this image when you are viewing this from a mobile device, which is a smaller, which has a smaller resolution? Yes, it will be it will be shrinked according to the screen size and all that stuff, but still there is some problem, right? As a responsible developer, we need to make sure that you don't share all this, because there is an IO cost that is being involved, and you want to make sure you serve only thumbnail images to them. Now there are two ways of doing it, right? One, you ask all your designers saying that by every time that you put any image, you need to distribute multiple versions. The one that I'm talking about, you can see it in today, even in production systems, where they will have every time you put an image, they will have image.jpg, my image.jpg, my image cross 620 bar 620 bar JPG, like that you can see in many places. So basically what they are trying to do is they are trying to optimize it in such a way that the image is being served according to the screen's resolution. But do you see any problem of doing that approach, where every time you keep an image, you create all the variety versions of the same image and then you serve the content to the people? Is there any problem there? Looks like a good practice, right? So you consider you also have another image, Nginx _ 320 pixel and JPG. Is there any side effects, any cost side effects to this? By keeping two images here, the problem that we are doing, and go to that questions. Now by keeping an additional duplicated images, right? First of all, storage, there is a storage issue, right? Consider you have hundreds of images, and every time it's like double or triple the size you need to store, because that much of conversion that you are doing, first of all, performance wise, that's a computation power being wasted, and second thing is that is coming from a storage also you need to pay. Instead, let us try to get is there anything that I can get out of these kind of servers? So for this reason, Nginx provides a lot of plugins. You cannot install the plugins directly. That is why for Docker Compose, I created my own Docker file. But basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm using a plugin called Nginx image upload. Now, if you look at it, yeah, there is an image filter module. Okay. So now this is a community support. I think it's coming from Nginx directly. So now what this will do is it will support you for basic image operation, like sharpening the image, cropping an image, rotating an image, and all those stuff. In our case, we wanted to use it for resizing an image. So how do you do that? Yes, very simple. You create another server for storing images. So if you look at it, I have created another server for image. I'm starting it from localhost 8088, and in that, whatever size that you are sending, I will receive that size and I will go to that same image, but I will apply my image filter with all the width and height that being done, and then I will serve that image. Now let us look at it. So here is the Rakibai, and here is your responsive Rakibai. So this responsive Rakibai is coming from not from your actual storage. So your actual storage is here. So it's only one image. But when it comes here, then we actually process it and then give it. Now there's a small catch here. Still, we did not solve our problem. There is a huge cost that we are incurring in these lines. Can anybody guess what is that? It is not as optimized as we think. So our whole idea is we want to have a better performance, right? That is why we wanted to do this. But is there any flaw here?
Delay in request.
Every time your request comes, the image filter being applied, that itself is costly. It's better than storing an image. I mean, it's not better than storing an image. So you see here, every time I'm actually processing the image, right? Correct. So now how do we solve this problem? I don't want to process it every time. I want to cache it. So it's very simple. You actually create a cache for all these images, and then from your actual server, which we are exposing it outside, you are doing a proxy pass to your behind the screen image server, and you are invoking the caching also. By doing so, first time that you request, it will be processed and it will be rendered here. But second time you request, it will be coming directly from this server. And that's how you save it. It's a very simple technique, but this can save lot of cost, it can save a lot of performance bottlenecks for you. And this is one of the features that we can use. Any doubts so far? Any questions? I see some questions here.
So Satish, one question here, Raghavan,
Yes,
joined
sir.
a bit late.
Yes.
So this is what way it differs from servlet filters, right? To me, it looks like more of a servlet filter, which is being shifted like a shift left approach, right? What we would have ideally achieved this from servlet programming via filter. This is being shifted left to the web server. Nginx is giving as a module. Is that right?
Correct. So consider that it is, see, ultimately filter is an interceptor, right? You are intercepting the request.
Yep.
Consider that before even it comes to your application server, which means your servlet, you want to do certain operations with a low, see, Nginx, Apache, they are lightweight server. They run with C, C++. They are very highly optimized and they are very small servers basically. So whatever that request that you are trying to get, you try to close your request right at that level itself. So same like servlet filters, you are doing an interceptor here itself. That's the only difference. Yes, you're right.
Okay, I'm good. Thanks for now. Yeah.
I
joined a bit late, but I'll catch up the session in the YouTube, right?
Yeah. So there is something to do with Kubernetes. There's a question from Digant. Actually, yes, you can do it with Kubernetes, but bottom line, we are connecting through Nginx and then we are trying to do it. That's the whole idea. It's whether you are coming from Kubernetes or Docker or a plain installation. In real case, this Nginx will be coming from a separate machine. In the machine that we deploy Nginx, we will not put any of the app servers. For cost benefits, sometimes for startup companies, we put that mistake. That is, we run our SpringBoot server as well as we run our Nginx in the same machine. But an actual proper environment, Nginx server that we are running will be dedicated only for Nginx, and we try to get that server without any storage. We will not have, but we will prefer high RAM for memory related operations. That's how we choose that server. Okay, so these are all the some of the advantages where whatever that you see now, you don't need to change your code. You don't need to make any change to your application code. All this that you get it out of this external configurations only. I strongly suggest everybody to go and try this. In case if there is any doubt also, I will correct it in the later sessions. So this is pretty much what I wanted to cover, but I just want to have an open discussion about what are all the other places that you use Nginx. If you want to hear about that, probably in the next upcoming session, I will include that also. Any other features of Nginx that you guys are using, please share it with the team. It will be useful for others also.
Satish, just a small question. So suppose we have Amazon load balancer and Amazon is having some ECS deployment and Amazon load balancer, and we are using Nginx along with that deployment configuration. How does this load balancing distribute across these two things? So Amazon load balancer and Nginx.
Okay, so it is like this. Yeah, it's like this. Your name?
I'm Sudhakar.
Sudhakar. Okay, Sudhakar. Thanks for the question. So let us talk about load balancing because there are a lot of other things that you can do with Nginx, but let us talk about specifically about Nginx. Okay. So your question is, Amazon provides a load balancer already. I'm using Amazon services. So should I use Nginx? Is that your question?
We are using both.
Both. Okay. So, okay, let us see between these two. Okay. First of all, consider databases. Consider Postgres, right? So you can create Postgres in your EC2 instance also, which is the bare minimum thing that Amazon provides. It's a virtual machine. It's up to you. You have complete freedom of installing whatever that you want. And you can access that Postgres also. Or you can use something like a managed services from Amazon, that is RDS, where you can install Postgres and then access it in terms of Postgres, right? Similarly here, if you want to do all on your own, if you can spend time of researching, figuring out, maintaining this and all those stuff, then you will use your own Nginx instances, or you can use the load balancer that is provided by the services, that is Amazon or GCP or Azure. Having said that, there's another set of load balancers also. I'm not an expert in that area, but what are that theoretical knowledge that I have is there are certain things called hardware load balancer. Vaibhav, correct me if I'm wrong. So there are certain things called hardware load balancer. There are certain services, cloud services, they provide that load balancer also. Provided there is a hardware load balancer, by practice, hardware load balancer performs way better than these kind of load balancers that we are talking about. So Nginx is still a software, right? It needs to get your request, process it, and then it sends it. So if those kind of services are there, then you cannot compare that with Nginx. They are always faster than what Nginx. But there is a limitation with the hardware load balancer. The problem is it is fixed. You have your assets fixed, infrastructure fixed. But with software, you can just keep expanding. You will have scalability. That's the overall comparison that I know. Did I answer your question, Sudhakar?
We can use either load balancing from Amazon and that is managed service or from Nginx.
Yes,
So
if you can invest time on your own.
Okay, so if it is combination, then Nginx is acting just as a proxy server, not as a load balancer.
Correct. There are a lot of things that you can do apart from proxying and the load balancer, like that I mentioned now. That is the image processing. Maybe I will give you some other clues, some other things that we can use. I mean, I will go because those topics that I'm trying to put here, they are a topic of their own. So I don't want to confuse them, but Nginx can take take considerable amount of role in your JWT authorization, one, and also in your multi-tenanted application. If you are providing SaaS-based service, right, Nginx can give you lot of benefits. You can do a lot of things for multi-tenanted SaaS applications also. Maybe I will cover that in case if audience are interested to know multi-tenant application. I will make another detailed demo. I will not do the demo, but those are all the areas that we can use. So to answer to that question, for load balancing, if you're thinking about load balancing, then we can compare these two. But if you are considering Nginx as a separate thing, there are a lot of things that you can do apart from just load balance. So if there's no questions, that's all from me today.